Hey, welcome back. Welcome back. You're watching Sharp Edge News TV. Do us a favor, hit that like button, share, subscribe, and follow. We have a fantastic show and stories lined up for you on this episode. Welcome, help me say welcome to the delectable, sharp-looking High Chief Oladimeji Abitogun, the editor-in-chief and publisher of SharpEdgeNews.com. Welcome, sir.
Good evening, Ola, and nice to be back with all our viewers, wherever they may be, on the face of the globe. That's a great delight.
Awesome. All right, welcome. All right, so we're just going to get right to it. We do have some stories to cover. The first one on our list here is the EFCC versus Yahaya Bello, stalled by judge's absence. There's a lot going on with this particular story, but let me play this short video and then we'll take it from there. Let's see. There you go. Aha.
What is going on in Kogi State? Well, the EFCC was trying to get a hold of him to answer to charges against him, allegations of fraud involving over 80. Guys, how much is that?
84 billion naira.
Well, yeah.
Just in case you're thinking of wrapping it down to 80, there's 4 billion on top of it. Chimney, just imagine 4 billion. Anyways.
Sometimes when you read these things on paper, the gravity of it is, But yesterday there was an attempt to arrest him.
Yeah.
Several things occurred. There was a judgment from the Kogi State High Court saying, nope, he can't be arrested. Then the EFCC said they got a judgment from a federal high court saying, proceed. And so many wondering what's going on with the courts. And then
all right, I'm just going to stop that right there. This particular headline actually says Governor Ododo should stop preventing Yahaya Bello's prosecution. I guess that's by San Femi Falana. Maybe you can bring us up to speed with this story. What's going on? Is this guy running away? Is he above the law? Are there people protecting him? Did he actually steal 80 billion plus naira? What's going on?
Thank you very much. Yahaya Bello, the immediate past governor of Kogi State, has become what anybody would want to see as a kind of embarrassment to Nigeria. When some of us started flying the campaign, the kite of generational shift in the leadership of Nigeria, we were not envisaging that some people who would want to receive the baton would reinvent the art of statesmanship such that we would be thinking in terms of how ridiculous things could be in Nigeria. Yahaya Bello, that was born 1975, you would think would use that unique opportunity of being young, as at the time he was elected. I think he was around 41 or thereabout. And 41 when he was first elected into office. But wherever he went, even when he was in office, the level of executive recklessness and brigandage that was witnessed, wanton disregard for rule of law under him, and even when his most formidable campaign mantra was internal security in Kogi State. Remember, Kogi State had become a major nesting place for terrorists and kidnappers and all kinds of marauders in Nigeria. You said he was able to push back on that. But you look at the kind of image he cultivated, he himself had masked up individuals around him who were non-state operatives and carrying all kinds of sophisticated weapons. They were house clothed and they did all sorts. I had a close encounter with him when he came to Ondo State about 4 years ago to preside over the primary election of APC. They were his assistants, these security people, not policemen, not DSS. I'm not talking of Nigerian official security apparatchiks around him. No, I'm talking of the non-state operators that he took everywhere he went. You needed to see them in Ijako. You needed the way they were conducting themselves at the Dome in Akure, the cultural event center in Akure. These people were so reckless, they would conduct themselves as if they were above the law. So if eventually Yahaya Bello, I do not know if he indeed swallowed, because things happen to money, public funds in Nigeria. And people talk of swallowing in place of, a parody of embezzlement or misappropriation or outright stealing of public funds. So we do not know how much ended up in his tiny belly, how much billions ended up there. But to say the least, having to grandstand to the extent of organizing a mob to resist police arrest, police who came as EFCC operatives. How ridiculous could things be? So, is it any wonder that Boko Haram, that bandits, that terrorists, that Fulani headsmen have overrun Nigeria? You see people that are elected into public offices doing the same. And to have acted in utter disregard. Ordinary invitation to the place. What does it take away from you? You go there, volunteer your statement under caution. If you stole, let justice prevail. If you did not, you will be acquitted. You will be discharged. The matter will become a nullity. But in this situation, conscience is such a strong thing with us humans. Nobody can pronounce him guilty without a duly constituted law court doing that. But for him to have acted, I think it's just a fugitive from the law as it is now. Beyond that, let us now look at the conduct of the successor to his office in Kogi State, Usman Ododo.
Okay.
Coming to obstruct justice the way he did. Forgetting that if ordinarily he was even called as a witness in the matter to give evidence, his mere refusal to do that would also qualify him as obstructing justice. Talk less of now going there in official convoy and then whisking him away to make him evade arrest. Ludicrous, absurd, utterly irresponsible. And do we warn the masses who without invitation will mass up and then be drumming support for all these executive looters. When they begin to isolate them and then they identify them one after the other, and they are made to answer to the call, it would almost be like the mob that descended on the Capitol, the U.S. Congress, January 6th, trying to prevent the smooth transition between Donald Trump and Joe Biden. You know how many of those people are in prison right now? Is Donald Trump there to save the day? Of course, it's not saving them. And so, if these people are identified and they are made to face prosecution, do they think Yahaya Bello? I'm sorry, I do not see him as real Yahaya. That's supposed to be a noble name. This man has become Yahaya Bello.
Wahala.
Honestly, do they think Yahaya Bello would be able to stand in the gap for them? Of course, he would not. Rich people, privileged people, politicians do all sorts, and poor people die by them. They die for them. That ought not to
let me so let me ask you this question: is this guy better? There's a guy here. You just spoken about Governor Ododo. I have another uncle here that I want to play this for you, and then tell me if he's any better, and then tell me which party Yahaya Bello belongs to, or maybe he's defected too. Who knows? But let me play this for you.
Yahaya Bello is a member of the ruling All Progressives Congress.
No, hold on. Let me play this for you, then you tell me. Hold on.
Yahaya Bello, do you know Yahaya Bello must lẹ́yìn ìjọba? Country people, make una come here tori o. Say Dino carry money, give talk. Say make you go buy gun to Fiakwa. They say Dino carry money, give talk, carry gun, give talk. Say make dem go dey prepare for 2019. Ọlọ́run má jẹ́. They say me meet them for airport road Alakiaye. My brothers, the venom of a viper cannot do anything to the back of a tortoise. I'm a law, I don't waka. But make I tell you now, Yahaya Bello, do you know Yahaya Bello máa ṣẹ̀wọ̀n lẹ́yìn ìjọba? I know Yahaya Bello máa ṣẹ̀wọ̀n lẹ́yìn ìjọba. Do you know GYB máa ṣẹ̀wọ̀n lẹ́yìn ìjọba? We know GYB máa ṣẹ̀wọ̀n lẹ́yìn ìjọba. Ìwọ Yàyà, you Yàyà, kí ló tún kù tí ó sọ? Kí ló tún kù tí ó sọ? Ẹni tí mo bẹ́ lórí tó ń ṣẹ̀nu wúyẹ́, kí ló tún kù tí ó sọ? Àtẹ̀kùn ìyá ni ó jẹ, Yahaya Bello, àtẹ̀kùn ìyá ni ó jẹ.
While I'm a paid actor.
Is he better? Because again,
he cannot. I mean, certainly we cannot say that Dino Melaye is better than Yahaya Bello. Of course, do not forget that Dino Melaye, who was a silent senator with People's Democratic Party, became as one of those who describe themselves as new PDP.
It's a new PDP now.
No, not now.
Okay.
While APC was rising up as an emerging as a budding political party, so he teamed with them, and remember that the late Prince Abubakar Audu, a former governor of the state, was the one that actually was elected, and then he died. There was this sudden death situation. Dino Melaye was the one who betrayed the whole agenda. The running mate for the late Abubakar Audu, a sitting member of House of Reps, was supposed to become the governor. Dino Melaye played a disgraceful role in bringing Yahaya Bello on board and making sure that he ran away with the ticket and frustrated everything that was in place to make sure that the running mate to the victorious candidate was not allowed to come into office. So, conceit, high-level conspiracy brought them together as friends. That which Yoruba people will call rikishi paonko odore, and that rikishi eventually also brought the devil between them, and today they are bitter political rivals. if not enemies. So Dino Melaye cannot be.
We can claim better.
Yes, and unfortunately, this long playing political situation, political saga in Kogi State. I was there when Dino Melaye ran as a senatorial candidate against Smart Adeyemi, by the way, former president of Nigerian Union of Journalists.
Okay.
And his cousin was murdered in the circumstance. Dino Melaye's cousin was murdered in the circumstance. And Smart Adeyemi, APC candidate, eventually became a senator. And Dino Melaye, having fallen apart with Yahaya Bello, went back to PDP. That is, a major situation. I slept in Okunland. See, Okunland is the Yoruba-speaking area of Kogi State.
Okay.
The only other place, apart from Okunland, where they speak Yoruba would be Lokoja and the upland area that is called Agbaja, the Waro line.
Isn't Lokoja the capital of Kogi State?
Lokoja is the capital, but Waro is also part of Waro is part of that Lokoja, but it's exclusively Yoruba area. It's a place that you witness a majestic grandeur. You have to climb up hill to get to that settlement, and then up there is a 26 kilometer square plateau where there is an ancient Yoruba civilization. We've been there, and special thanks to the exploits of people like Basharumba and Jabitogu and some of our family members. We go places, we go everywhere to make sure that we savor the beauty and the grandeur of the country called Nigeria. So this is the place, the situation that has played out between Yahaya Bello, now a fugitive from the law, and his arch political rival, Dino Melaye. So Dino Melaye is not necessarily better. It's not necessarily better. But there are, by and large, beyond all these dirty political players in Kogi State, the people of Kogi State are fine. They are really loving people. And vast majority are peaceful beyond what Yahaya Bello is exhibiting in the public. I think the rule of law must prevail. And this is where we have to commend the Attorney General and Minister of Justice of the Nigerian Federation. And for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to be able to consolidate and secure his place in history, he should not allow for this kind of nonsense to go unquestioned, to go without consequence.
Thank you so much for that. Thank you. All right. Do us a favor, hit the like button, share, subscribe, and follow, and we'll be back in 20 seconds.
It was a shocking image, too graphic to be shown in full detail, in the middle of a New York City park this afternoon, of a man on fire. It happened right outside the courthouse where former President Donald Trump's criminal trial was underway.
A man has now lit himself on fire outside of the courthouse in Manhattan where we are waiting.
The incident unfolding live on cable news just after 1:30 Eastern.
And we're like yelling to the cops who are all outside of the park.
I don't know if he was really political or just unbalanced.
Authorities confirmed 37-year-old Maxwell Azzarello is from St. Augustine, Florida. Tonight, officials say he is intubated and in critical condition.
He throws the pamphlets throughout the park, and then he pulls out a canister and pours some kind of liquid on himself. Court officers, members of the police department, they run into the park. They make efforts to...
All right, so we're talking about Donald Trump. There's a report here on Washington Post. Court ended for the day early Monday afternoon in Donald Trump's criminal trial for allegedly falsifying business records to hide a hush money payment during the 2016 presidential election campaign. Everything is catching up with Donald Trump. How far is this going to go? Can you bring us up to speed with Donald Trump and the United States?
Our condolences. Number one, our condolences to the family of this man from Augusta that have chosen the path of self-incineration to protest the arraignment of Mr. Donald Trump, the thoroughly discredited former American president, our former president, because it would be the act of insensitivity for us to launch out at present this moment in history without acknowledging the tragedy that this portends, that this symbolizes. Honestly, the death of anybody, any man, would diminish us as human beings. But should they have died in that circumstance? Certainly, that is a path that it should not have taken. Honestly, I cannot imagine myself reasonable, rational, having to die for somebody like Mr. Donald Trump. This guy ought to have waited out the entire process. Some of us have been in situations in which we thought the only option was suicide. But because we listened to that still voice, that inner voice that said, can you wait one moment, another second, 2 minutes? That's rolling into another hour, another day, week, month, year. Here we are today, alive, thriving. If we all can wait out this trial process for Mr. Donald Trump, we will know whether the state is right or the state is wrong. We will know whether Mr. Trump is right or wrong. Nobody is pronouncing him guilty before his time. The matter is now before the jury. So why would somebody choose to commit suicide for Donald Trump? Like I said, in the case of Yahaya Bello a few minutes ago, all these poor people coming out, dying for the cause of corrupt politicians. Do they think if they find themselves in the same shoes, would these politicians die for any of us poor people? Would they die for any of us struggling Americans or Nigerians? Certainly not worth it. Beyond that, Mr. Donald Trump is coming under the click light. He's been spotlighted, even in his personal life. This is somebody that would denigrate persons as inconsequential, as not being worthy of life or worthy of his company and all that. But even now, we know that there are reports going around the entire place on how he easily falls asleep, how he dozes off, almost snoring in the law court, and then having to fart, having to admit how
he's letting go.
Yeah. right there. And do not forget that Mr. Donald Trump's niece, Miss Mary Trump, had commented about the kind of coups that that often emits from Donald Trump in the past. She described that graphically, and there's so many people has spoken about that. He himself in the tape where he spoke of groping women and grabbing them by the push. Remember him saying that he walked around with them. What you mean? TikTok, which he throws in the mouth and then they let you do whatever and what have you. So it's not as if he's a perfect human being. So all of us at this moment must be more circumspect about these characters that we idolize, that we obsess over. You know, celebrity obsession is such a serious thing. And everybody thinking, oh, this leader or that person is infallible, understanding the final analysis. We all are human. Donald Trump may be guilty, he may not. But check all these things. Is it coincidental? Is it accidental that wherever he goes, it will follow him? He is the same person that will prod the GOP, the GOP caucus, the Republican caucus in the Congress to grandstand against the leadership, the presidency of this country. Is that where we want to be? Everybody is beginning to look at Joe Biden as if he's not accomplishing anything, but whatever he wants to do, Donald Trump will get people to block. He would insult judges, he would denigrate hallowed institutions. I mean, such a chaotic character. The reasoning is almost that of a third grader. Boy is so mischievous. Well schooled by people that were identified as operating for the mafia, the mob in New York in the past. Lawyers, that were known to have worked with Gambino, working also to tutor Donald Trump on how to deny, disrupt, and cause chaos all over the place. So sometimes I look at us, that is us Americans, our civilization has about the best that has ever come on the surface of the earth. But sometimes too, our quality of judgment when we let people into offices, certainly in the case of Mr. Donald Trump, also look at us as people that are capable of all kinds of contradictions. Yes,
right, absolutely.
We can be we can be outrightly absurd. So I do not know why somebody will set himself on fire simply because a leader is standing trial for corruption. And part of issues that brought to the surface, particularly when Charles Taylor, the then murderous leader of Liberia, was undergoing trial at The Hague, was this element of hypocrisy among the Western nations, leaders of Western countries, that, oh, you want to place African leaders on trial all the time. How about your own corrupt leaders?
Yep.
So nobody should die. Let Donald Trump answer to
his own cases.
That is it. Thank you very much.
Yeah. There's a report here just 1 hour into trial proceedings. This is according to Forbes. Monday morning, the former president appeared to be struggling to stay awake, according to New York Times reporter. This is, I think they said this is the third or fourth time. According to reporter Susan Craig, who noted the former president was jolted awake by his attorney, Todd Blanche. NBC News reporters also said Trump's eyes are shut just before the beginning of opening arguments in the trial, where Trump faces 34 felony counts for falsifying business documents stemming from hush money payments to former adult film star Stormy Daniels. And then these are some of the headlines. Just wanted to bring us up to speed a little bit. Prosecutors in Trump hush money trial debuted their case in opening statements. Wraps up today, was warned to return records to archives, unsealed documents say. And then also Trump co-defendant in classified documents case was told he'll be pardoned in a second Hold on, there was another headline I was looking for here. Okay. Prosecutors, according to Politico, prosecutors say Trump violated his gag order 10 times. The judge is finally set to weigh in.
Yes, and that may be examined tomorrow, that is Tuesday. But the long and short of it is that his sin is beginning to find him out, and there's no peace for the wicked man. Do not think that, yes, politicians are known to be funny characters, they are known to be cold and calculating, but that of Donald Trump is extraordinary, it's beyond the ordinary. You bring it, I mean, whistleblowers who operated with him at the time, they have since come out to say that a return of this man to the White House will mean something radical the way we understand the present world civilization.
Yeah.
He himself has said he will be brutal, he will be vengeful. If that is what you want for America, I mean, that would be very, very unfortunate. But I love this country, and I want the very best.
Yeah.
We have to be very careful in the choices we make. That's all I would say.
MSNBC, I'm going to wrap it up with this one. MSNBC says Trump can't call Biden Sleepy Joe anymore if he's falling asleep in courtroom.
Wow. And now you can talk of Sleepy Don. We haven't caught Joe Biden sleeping, so we can't talk of Sleepy Joe anymore. It's now Sleeping Don. Yeah.
These people are just old. Oh my God.
It's sleeping. It's not about them being old. It's about the age of the ideas they propound. The ideas from Donald Trump is not fit for this age. Joe Biden, fantastic man.
All right. Thank you so much. Hit that like button, share, subscribe, and follow. We'll be back in 20 seconds.
So this is Ubola River in Ondo State, and here we have the governor of Ondo State, Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa, heading to his polling unit at Ward 4 across the river. Currently, we are expecting the trip to begin so that we can go across the river for the governor to cast his vote. Wish us safe trip as we embark on this journey.
All right, so we're watching Aiyedatiwa being sailed off across the river to his village, to his polling unit. So apparently it's from the water area of Ondo State. I think you mentioned that when they first sworn him in, right? There was Ondo APC primaries. I'm still learning. I'm a learner. I didn't realize I didn't realize there's elections going on, or primary elections going on in Ondo State.
It's the season of the primaries in Ondo State.
Right.
APC had theirs last Saturday, and that of PDP will be next Saturday.
I see. And then also there's an article here that you apparently
before we get into that, see,
right,
what happened basically last Saturday is a classical situation of people getting ensnared with the trap that they have set for others. You know, everybody is up in arms protesting, and I saw my good friend, the man called Olembe, Rotimi Ogunleye, originally from Isolo in Akure, but from Ward 10, I think Isolo Araromi, those days. I saw him on channels, the interview he granted. But what he did not speak about specifically was how Aiyedatiwa, the current chairman of APC in Ondo State, how he went into a plot with Olushola, and then they doctored the membership or the voters register for that primary. What was called a direct primary was supposed to allow every registered card-carrying member of APC access to vote on that day. But you know what they did? For each ward, they had penciled down only people they proved to be financial members, people whom they said had been subscribing by way of finances to their membership, for their membership of APC. So in a place like Akure, South local government, totally cosmopolitan and the most populous part of the state, only 8,000 people were accredited to vote in that primary. And the voting strength of APC members there will be way over 50,000. But they pinned it to 8,000. Same thing happened elsewhere. In Usho, our native homeland, only 90 people were accredited to vote in the primary on Saturday. So all these people had been micro packaged to vote for Olushola. But the vast majority of Ondo State people, they want the incumbent governor, the sitting governor, Aiyedatiwa. So when they got there, let me confirm to you that yes, something out of place. Was what happened. They just looked at the line, everybody on the line, not pro Olushola or Aiyedatiwa faithfuls now. In Usho, they would just count 90 people on the line. And then, since it was the 90 people they were expected to actually validate the process, they counted all those for Aiyedatiwa. Same thing elsewhere. In Elijah Ondo area, while Akure was given a list of 8,000, you know, they waived it so much. They padded the whole thing. They pre-arranged the whole thing. Their conclusion was that place was so good, it will allow for 27,000 people to vote. You know, the lopsidedness. So, my friend Rotimi Olembe did not talk of all this sloppy arrangement that was skewed to favor Olushola. So it's a matter of master riggers outrigging themselves. And to that extent, nobody should cry foul. Because in this day of long nights, it will be foul to be fair. And so, it was fair for Aiyedatiwa to be foul. Now, one thing that also emerged is that this thing that rotated, the governorship ticket that rotated to Ondo South Senatorial District, over time, you find out that Elijah and Ikale people, they make it look as if it is exclusively their game. Not minding upland places like Ile-Oluji-Ekegbo, Federal Constituency, Odigbo, and elsewhere. For whatever is zoned to that area, if it's coming from Ikale Elijah, it's okay by them. They should think of all these things, and elsewhere, Nigerians will be talking of marginalization. This is why, personally, I'm not positively disposed to this idea of a Yoruba nation or what have you. What I look at is making for a true federalism, and then we all stay within Nigeria and make it work for all of us. But to that extent, the weekend election primary within APC has come and gone. Now you wanted to bring up an article. Let us listen to that.
Yes, you had an article here that looks like it was originally published in 2011. Can you hear me?
Yes, perfectly.
Okay. All right, good. So I'm just going to read a small excerpt from the beginning of it. It says, Jimoh Ibrahim is not humble. It would hardly matter that Mr. Jimoh Ibrahim, the bashful and abrasive owner of Emery Oil and Global Fleet Corporation, wants to perceive him as an unborn self-made billionaire. His lack of humility, or should I say his penchant for false humility, leaves us with no choice but to think hard on the source of his wealth. Mr. Ibrahim has a unique way of being vulgar and reckless in flaunting money, yet no Nigerian, other than those who work at the level of corporate slavery, or should we say monetized servitude, feels the aura and reach of the wealth he wants us to believe he possesses in colossal sums. So that's a small excerpt from it. Can you?
Oh yes, I remember that article.
Okay.
The circumstance of me penning this write-up was when Mr. Jimoh Ibrahim in 2011 was holding a meeting at the Accra airport in his private jet with the late Nigerian ambassador to Australia and Papua New Guinea, later to Greece. My good professor of diplomatic history, the late Professor Oluagbi, who actually was also a secretary to the government of Ondo State under the late Governor Banidele Olumilua. So Governor Olusegun Mimiko arrived at the airport and had wanted to go and greet Mr. Jimoh Ibrahim. And that was the time when Mr. Jimoh Ibrahim's mother was allegedly kidnapped in Igbo Tako. So whatever happened.
So just to be straight, Mr. Jimoh Ibrahim is a senator presently in Ondo State. Is that correct?
Yes, representing Ondo South Senatorial District. So that was the circumstance. Mimiko had wanted to go and greet him, and he started pouring invectives and all kinds of vitriols at the former governor. So I looked at it that why would somebody be so disrespectful towards the man that held the fort for about 5 million strong Ondo State citizens? So that was what the thing was. And so in it, I brought out everything I knew about Jimoh Ibrahim, his lack of humility, or probably the way he was parading false humility, and always talking about his huge billions. And in this election cycle in Ondo State, he has also boasted that he would outspend so many people.
Was he running? Was he running to?
Yes.
Okay.
See, on Saturday, Aiyedatiwa was the first. Ended up being first. Akinfolari got 15,000 plus. Olushola 14,000 plus. Jimoh Ibrahim, I think, came distant fourth or fifth. And Akinteriwa, whom people had thought would do well, as somebody that was coming right from Akredo Loser Caucus. Didn't make a strong showing. But the relevance of this article is that people already knew Jimoh Ibrahim. And honestly, from our church, if Jimoh Ibrahim had won the primary in APC, people had planned to go into any opposition party for that matter in Ondo State to work massively against him, because they thought he would put the state up for sale. Everywhere he went, on national television, the one we saw here, he was always boasting with permutations or some calculations on how he had the thing in his wrath and that he was going to become the governor. So he's been humbled again, and I think he needs to work on his strategy and stop pushing on our faces that he has PhD from Harvard. That does not mean anything if it doesn't work for the people. If you are not humble, Part of the tragedy of Africa, indeed Nigeria, is that when we want to build our universities, we don't look at them as something that must be located within the community. We set them way outside the city parameters or limits, and then we produce students or graduates who see themselves as being superior to the rest of the nation. I mean, citizens. We are all equal. Ajimo Ibrahim, again, I say, people like him must learn to be humble. Politicians are hardly humble. But in the case of Jimo Ibrahim, it's almost like the Donald Trump of Nigeria. He's been spending money like water in this election cycle. But thank God, the people knew better, and they have given the deserved diadem, the crown, to the best of all, the incumbent governor, Aiyedatiwa.
Yeah, that sounds like asking a politician to be humble sounds like a very, very difficult.
That is almost like you asking the camera to go through the eye of a needle.
Good luck with that. Do us a favor, hit the like button, share, subscribe, and follow, and we'll be back in 20 seconds. All right, welcome back. Let's listen to this real quick.
Welcome back. As we continue the conversation on the future of Nigeria today. Welcome back. As we continue the conversation on the future of Nigeria today, I have an eminent voice that is pushing for that great Nigeria. I'm delighted today to welcome my brother and friend, Mr. Kenneth Okonkwo, who is the spokesperson for the presidential candidate of LP, Mr. Peter Obi, and who is also a lawyer and a social commentator. Raken, you're welcome to Inside Sources.
It's my pleasure seeing you again, Loud.
Good to see you again.
Thank you, viewers, for joining in.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So let's start, on the normal general note that if you look at where Nigeria is today, right now, will you say that the country is on that trajectory?
So on this particular interview, they talk quite a bit, but really what I wanted to extract out of this is I'm going to read a direct quote. It says, "I do not think the CBN understands what it is doing," Okonkwo said on Inside Sources with Laolu Akonde, a program aired on Channels TV on Friday. When you talk about free fall of the Naira, the worst case is when Forex management affects manufacturers. The success of the Forex management is in its ability to ensure stability and sustenance, not whether it is high or low. The greatest threat to the economy is uncertainty, he said. According to the former spokesperson, Aiyedatiwa presidential campaign, the duty of the CBN is to ensure macroeconomic sustainability. He claimed the present APC-led government has foisted macroeconomic volatility on manufacturers who are now groaning under the weight of forex instability, high diesel prices, and of late electricity tariff hike. What's your take on this? Let me hear what you have to say about this.
We discussed this issue before, and yes, the volatility of the Naira, and each time people question whether this relative stability in exchange rate, the appreciation that the Naira is enjoying now, vis-a-vis the almighty dollar, that is it real, or is it something that is just a prop?
Or manufactured?
Yes.
No pun intended.
Yes, I did. I did macroeconomics to advanced level.
Right.
But my present feeling is that we do not know. We don't know what the government of Nigeria is throwing into this situation, this inferno, to douse whatever is making, the Naira to go on a free fall initially. Whatever is holding forth to make sure that the volatility is stemmed momentarily may not be clear to ordinary folks like you and I for the moment. But let us wait and see, because the accusation from the government of Nigeria is that people do not want to see Nigeria do well, and that each time the thing is on free fall, everybody enjoys criticizing the government. Once it's appreciating, everybody begins.
They're praising.
Yeah, if it's appreciating, everybody begins to say that, oh, it's not real. Why? They think we are not really giving them the benefit of the doubt on their hard work, so to say. We don't know if they are working hard. That is, an opinion that is open for interrogation. But that said, I think Kenneth Okonkwo may be seen since we do not see. And do not forget, he's supposed to be the spokesperson of an opposition party.
Right.
After all, the government in power is supposed to work more at it when opposition characters, players, become more trending and hard-eating in their criticisms. So, let us allow politicians to...
Let's just wait and see.
Yes, sit down, look. With due respect to the latest Shivolagi. So, that's my attitude towards that.
Right. So I think he has a point. I pay attention to this part of the game a little bit. I think he has a point. Ultimately, I think what he's speaking to is like, okay, nice, good, done a good job. It's not in free fall anymore. But how sustainable is this?
Yes, that sustainability is the thing. Let it not be that, okay, it's going to get to a point at which
and then it will now completely fall.
Get on that roller coaster.
Because there's no intrinsic value,
Yes, but, Ola, I give this to you. Part of your expertise as somebody who is well-grounded and with advanced degree in engineering management is that you also know aspects of financial engineering. So you would understand their language better than somebody like me, who is just looking at the input with the ordinary folk, with Tom, Dick, and Harry like you and I. What?
Right.
There's
pressure.
Yeah,
that pressure has been transferred somewhere else.
Yeah,
Where?
you said things are firming up in terms of the value of the Naira. But it's not translating to that with the prices of, with food inflation. And then look at the laughable thing that is going on. The other day, from California, it was reported that a particular vehicle powered through, what was it called? This compressed gas, busted into flames. People got seriously injured. That is what Nigeria plans to bring in en masse now for transportation of the people. Nobody is looking at the inherent hazard.
Like at what cost? At what cost? What is the what is the
human cost? Yes, and they are saying per liter is going to cost between maybe $150. $150 naira to 200 naira. This of this gasoline, premium spirit, that is petrol, that goes for around 600 whatever amount now in naira. So we are looking at all these things. The things they try to package for Nigerians has been the remedy for the hard what's it called? Subsidy removal pill that they have administered on all of us. We do not know where all this would lead, but I'm a bit scared. You put vehicles that are powered by compressed gas on the road in places where you have potholes that could qualify for bottomless hellish pit.
Right.
And then you don't feel like people will be experiencing crashes and all that. See,
Right.
I witnessed the burning of a luxury bus filled with people between Ore and Ijebu-Ode way back in 1997. I'm still traumatized by that experience. You can ask from my elder brother, Baladili, when I got to his house in Lagos, having witnessed that gory accident, I could not sleep all night.
So I'm sure to a side of the story they feel like they might hear skepticism. No, it's just a question. It's a valid question.
Yeah, but people, you know, what they are putting out there. Oh, Governor Dapo has done this in Ogun State. This is happening in some other place. I was even told that the governor of Borno brought in electric vehicles on mass to help the situation. Unless they are tapping to the vast solar resources up north in Nigeria. Where is that electricity from Nigerian public grid?
Yeah.
A country that has, country of 230 million people having to rely on 4,500 megawatts of electricity, which is never even delivered in full at any time, waiting to toy with the. I think they are looking for ingenious ways of reducing Nigerian population.
So Kenneth,
I'm not an opposition politician. I'm not even a politician anyway. So this might take Nigerian.
You're a legendary journalist. You're objective. We're gonna assess everything.
Yeah, well, Nigerians should just should be cynical on how we accept all these solutions that the politicians.
Thank you, and that's a good point, because every solution creates new problem, and we need to assess all of it.
And that's why they are politicians. They create problems for you, and they pretend to be solving them, but they are the sources of this problem.
They paint a picture of absolute solution, but it's not real. You need to ask questions. You can still accept their solutions, but you need to be aware that they also create new problems. He said some people living in rich neighborhood are not rich. That's a fact. Some of those Nigerians are living in boys' quarters in those neighborhoods classified as Band A. He said Nigerians are beginning to be aware that.
See, I didn't live in boys' quarters when I lived in Asokoro in Abuja, but the truth of the matter, I lived in the main house, but I was not a rich man. I was only living with my rich uncle.
Exactly, but a lot of people are doing the big boy thing when, in fact, very soon they will go bankrupt. So, and I think that's the point that he's making. Some points can be taken away from it. Yeah. All right. So we got. Let's see. Do us a favor, please. This is a very big favor that we're asking you to do for us. Hit the like button, share, subscribe, and follow. And we'll be back in 20 seconds. Thank you so much. All right, welcome back. Listen to this.
National Executive Committee meeting of the People's Democratic Party, highly anticipated, and it has ended yesterday. And there are so many commentaries that have been coming out from that meeting. Some persons are comfortable with the outcome, others are disappointed. So let's find out exactly what is playing out as far as that meeting was concerned. We're being joined in the program by former governorship aspirant in Ogun State and a PDP chieftain, Mr. Sowunmi. He joins us from Abuja studio. Mr. Sowunmi, thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you for having me.
Let's begin with your assessment. Are you satisfied or disappointed with what played out at yesterday's NEC?
Okay, I think the first thing I want to say is send condolences to the governor and people of Plateau State, and to say that we're tired of giving out condolences. We really look forward to a government that can step into the issues, stamp its feet down, and do whatever is required, including rejigging the security architecture to give the states more powers to be able to control the security of their spaces and do a whole lot more. We can't normalize just saying every time people have been killed, people have been killed, people have been killed.
All right. Let me ask, is this the same guy that was disappointed in Obasanjo some 2 weeks ago?
Yes.
We covered this, right?
What
is it now again? What has happened now again? Please tell us.
There is nothing out of place in what has happened. He's speaking to the expectation, the negative expectation of people who had wanted the National Executive Council or Committee's meeting of the People's Democratic Party to hold, and then find that the center shouldn't have held in the course of holding that meeting. But to the chagrin of so many doubters and naysayers, Atiku Abubakar, the presidential candidate of the party, and a man, Isato was a turncoat and mole in the party, Governor Nyesom Wike, former Governor Nyesom Wike, the current FCT minister.
What does it mean by PDP loaned Wike to APC and he will soon return? What's that?
They did not tear themselves apart.
Okay.
He was talking to the fact that people were calling. I noticed some of our senior colleagues and colleagues on national television programs describing it as a disgrace that Wike, who should have been thrown out of the party for anti-party activities and sabotage, had been accommodated, and it was a victory for him. That's what he was speaking to specifically. That no, in this case, that PDP had been able to defy all punditry and negative focus to hold together as one.
So they're not fighting anymore.
Yeah, they may be fighting. Well, if you find peace in any human organization, that would be a kind of piece of the graveyard. It would be a facade. It would be a pretense. Not the real thing. So
they're no longer fighting. It was all false. It was all false accusation.
No, what he's saying is that instead of having the whole structure torn apart, torn down, they were able to manage their differences, and they came out of that forum more united, maintaining a united front. And that's why I said Wike is still a member of the PDP, and that he was able to throw a jibe, an underbelly punch at the APC that if they were competent, they wouldn't have forayed into the fold of PDP to borrow a performer, a drama king like Wike.
Like Wike.
Yeah, that's what he's saying.
That's what he's saying. Okay.
So,
all right.
So they've been able to hold together. But in the intro you played, you heard about the massacre on the plateau.
Yes, please.
How several people were again killed by suspected Fulani headsmen. Elsewhere in Niger State, more than 7 soldiers were killed in Chiroro this past few days. The kind of movement of troops that you saw went to Delta State, Okoma, when soldiers were killed. You are not seeing that kind of, and we are not instigating anything, but we are looking at the double standard involved when it comes, when they want to make it look like, yes, the southern part of Nigeria, you make any trouble, we put you. They will talk of cobra dance, python dance, whatever. But when soldiers are killed with impunity up north by well-known marauders, bandits, terrorists, kidnappers, herdsmen, nothing gets done. And that is really frustrating. We will talk more about this situation some other time. We have decided to hold to our chest our exclusive findings and reports about the situation in Delta, Oklahoma, what fueled it. The greed of soldiers, army, their struggle with men and women in the Navy that took them to that, that took them to the creeks, the Niger Delta Creek. How many bandits had been caught and that should have been neutralized in Niger State in the past, who alleged that they were handed more than 500 guns by certain prominent former Nigerian leaders, all in the name of keeping watch over cattle in Niger State. Those things we have had. Their intervention. No wonder the whole place has mere anarchy on the range. Yes.
Okay. All right. Good. Thank you so much for bringing us up to speed with that. We just we're still covering the PDP stories, I mean, obviously Nigerian politics in general, but all the drama that's going on in that camp.
Yeah. So in the meantime, the acting PDP chairman remains in office, Professor Yahaya Bello, or Dr.
What is the position of Atiku? Atiku exactly?
Atiku is the current party leader. I mean, he used the presidential flag bearer, the candidate of the party in the last election. So he's the obvious leader. But he's taciturn. He hardly talks. Yes,
what are the chances that that Peter Obi will go back to PDP?
Well, as a man of faith, why don't we allow tomorrow to take care of itself? If it to go back, good luck to LP. But you also know that LP does not even have that kind of pitch at the moment. But I think they will sort themselves out the way PDP has been able to put themselves together. I think I do not. That would be like asking for too much. To expect that, but you can't predict any politician.
Never know.
Anything can happen.
Are you saying Peter Obi is like the rest of them?
You said?
Are you saying Peter Obi is like the rest of them?
He is a politician.
Just a fact, huh?
Yes. He's a politician.
All right, that's good. There was a little drama between Reno Omokri was being dragged earlier today on social media for talking from two sides of his faces. about three sides of his face. Well, they put up. It was dragging one.
Triple face.
Anyone, I think it's probably up to 4.
Oh, a triumvirate face.
Yeah. There was one that he mentioned. He said like he told Peter Obi, you will never become the president. Well, in more recent times, he has a lot of respect for Peter Obi. I think they met up too, and it was hyping him, and so he got into it with some young Nigerian influencer called the Very Dark Man. And they were dragging each other on the internet earlier because Seun Okinbaloye was asking him about Very Dark Man, and he essentially just said next question, because he has some accusations coming to his brother on some assault allegations, But anyway, that's that.
Let us leave them to sort themselves out. In the meantime, in America here, let us appreciate our Congress for, particularly the House of Representatives, the way they were able to put together that intervention fund for Ukraine, Taiwan, and Israel. I think in the long term, we see them rising to the occasion, and then the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Michael, freeing himself from all this MAGA stranglehold. He's broken free now, and we think we can keep up to speed in making sure that we deliver. Because I suspect if we do not do something so radical in how we give support to to Ukrainians.
There's so much going on with that honestly, I want us to do some more coverage of that later on.
Yes, you mean tonight?
No, not tonight.
Yes, well,
I walked through the protest that was going on in New York City all day today at the Columbia University.
The pro-Palestinian stuff.
Yes.
At Columbia.
At Columbia, I was there today. I walked multiple times through them, and it's scary. To be honest with you, it's a scary scene, even in the middle of New York City.
Yeah, you know the solidarity of people on the verge of whatever in life, but people should also look at the struggles of Jewish people over the ages. They've been through a lot, and for anybody to continue to plot their annihilation, their extermination, that is where I'm so scared of Donald Trump. See, when Adolf Hitler, initiated his Holocaust against the Jews, he started first by denigrating and dehumanizing them, calling them vermin, rats, and what have you. That was an orchestration that snowballed into the eventual deliberate killing of more than 6 million of them. And when Donald Trump looks at you and I, immigrants in this country, and then calls us animals, calls us all kinds of
let's plan to cover that so that we don't mix that up with the PDP story. Let's plan to cover that later time.
All right.
But
that would be wonderful.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. Do us a favor, hit the like button, share, subscribe, and follow. If you're a PDP follower, hit the like button. If you're an APC follower, make sure that the like button is lit blue. If you're LOP, just make sure you leave a comment and say LOP, and then we'll answer you in the comment as well. But we appreciate you. Thank you so much. We're getting some love on the platform, but let's keep it going. Just help us hit the like button. Hopefully you've been enlightened, educated. Thank you for being here today, Chief. We'll see you.
My pleasure, as always. And thanks for the job you're doing. And to thousands of our fans out there, we're growing by the day, and you can always support what we do by making sure that you grow us further.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Take care. See you soon. Bye.